So the question of the day is, are you hurt or are you injured? If you're thinking about taking on a contact-based physical activity like the martial arts, then one of the things that you've got to be familiar with is the idea of getting hurt. And maybe you've already started this journey. Maybe you're already doing something. And this doesn't just apply to the martial arts. That's my perspective. That's my background. But anything, any sports, anything like that, lots of physical activities have the ability for you to get hurt. And what you need to realize is that there is a difference between being hurt or being injured. And you got to ask yourself that question. When something hurts, you got to ask yourself, am I hurt or am I injured? Because the answer is going to dictate whether or not you keep training. And I don't mean forever. I just mean for right now. So let's define hurt. So when you're hurt, it hurts. It's painful, right? Something is in pain. And there's a lot of things that are going to cause pain, a lot of things that can cause pain. But there's a really big difference when it comes to being injured. Because when you're injured, now something's wrong. Now something might need medical attention. You know, you might have pulled something, strained something, tore something, broken something. All of these things need attention and they all need time to recover, because as you continue to train with that situation, you can make it worse. When you're hurt, I mean, you're bumped and bruised and scratched a little bit, whatever, you're going to be able to train without really increasing that, right? Now, enough hurt, if the hurts come in the form of bruises from taking lots of kicks or taking something like that, compounding that, having that happen repeatedly to the same area could lead to an injury. But that doesn't mean you're injured, right? It just means right now you need to maybe pay attention. But if you are injured, it's time to recover, because you got to decide, am I going to recover for a day? Am I going to recover for a week? Am I going to recover for a month? Because the truth is, if you are just freshly injured, not doing too bad, maybe you just got a couple weeks of recovery to do. But if you don't do that, and you get back on the mat and you start working hard again, you could be out for a couple months, 6 months, 9 months, a year. Plus, you have the ability to, just like how being hurt can compound to being injured can compound to things like chronic pain or things that you can't actually recover from because when you had the chance, you wasted it. So don't do that. Get off the mat, do some recovery, and come back when you're feeling better. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't show up. You just have to ask yourself, am I a person who can watch a class without feeling like I need to get involved and possibly injure myself while you're already injured? If you are, then show up with a notebook, sit down, watch. You're going to see things that you don't normally see, because when you're normally in class, you're working through everything with everybody else and you're paying attention to what it feels like, what you think it should look like, trying to make that happen. And when you take away that physical component and you just watch, you get a chance to pick up on a lot of things that you maybe wouldn't notice otherwise. So that's kind of a big deal. Actually, it's really great. You know, when you get a chance to kind of audit a class and just watch, you're going to learn a lot of things about movement and about technique and about different things that you're trying to pick up that you wouldn't pick up otherwise, or at least maybe not at the same rate, because you're too busy trying to turn that from having just seen it to just done it like that. Okay. So remember that as you watch, you'll get a chance to see what people's feet are doing, what their hands are doing, how they're moving their body. Are they getting away to the inside or the outside? What are they doing? What does it look like? And are they doing it in a way that you could take advantage of when you get back on the mat? When you're back on your feet and you're ready to try again, you can take the things that you learned, take the things that you wrote down and start applying them, and you're going to be better for it. It will make a difference. That doesn't mean you have to show up though, because you don't owe anybody anything, and it's really easy to start feeling like you're going to disappoint somebody or you're going to let somebody down by not showing up. Maybe you just need to stay home. Maybe you need to lay down. Maybe you need to just spend the night on the couch. Maybe you need a heat pack. Maybe you need medication for whatever it is, you know. It's okay to stay home. I can tell you as an instructor that the idea of me being disappointed because you're taking care of yourself will never happen. Not truthfully. Anybody who's disappointed in you because you won't push through something that needs to be dealt with doesn't have your best interest in mind. Now, don't get that confused, because if, for example, myself as an instructor, if I look and I know that you're not injured, I know that maybe it hurts or you're being lazy, yep, might be disappointed or even upset with you if you don't show up and work and you're not putting your effort in, because you're not going to get over that hurdle without putting the effort in. But if you're injured, especially if I can look at you and know that you're injured, then what I want for you is for you to be better, to feel better, to have recovered. Because at the end of the day, none of the things that I'm trying to teach you are going to be accomplishable if you don't have full control of your body, if you don't have your full faculties. That's important. And especially if you continue doing it in a way where you'll never have full capacity, then you're limiting yourself. So I'd be more disappointed if you set yourself up in a position where you limit yourself because you refuse to let yourself recover. As we get older, recovery needs to happen more. Just training, even if you're not hurt, just training, putting in that effort is taxing on the body. When I had the opportunity to work with Dan and Asanto, one of the things that stood out the most to me, and we went over, it was straight from the fire hose working with him. It was a lot. But one of the things that stood out to me the most, one of the things that I've carried the most, is he said, for every hour of training, you should be doing at least a half an hour of recovery. He didn't say for every hour that you got your ass whooped, or every hour that you worked super hard, or every hour you couldn't lift yourself off of the floor. He said, for every hour of training, you should spend a half an hour of recovery. Now, recovery can be things like sitting in the hot tub, getting a massage, doing some stretching. There's a lot of ways to recover. As you got older, you got into older age brackets, you said, okay, now it's hour for hour. Now you need to spend equal amounts of time recovering. And so those are things you got to pay attention to. Are you taking care of your body? You will find a limit. If you think that you're just going to continue to push and train 8 days a week and not run into a brick wall of limitation from just running your body into the ground, you're wrong. It just doesn't work that way. Anything that requires physical capacity needs recovery to rebuild. Your muscles need recovery to rebuild. And so take that time, right? Tends to be why you try to spread out classes. And so I know for me, that's why I try to schedule the classes that I teach, kind of spread out a little bit. Now, when you look at my schedule, you wouldn't think so because there's stuff happening like every night. But if you look at a particular track, say you're on a track to learn karate, or you're on a track to learn the Filipino martial arts or something like that, those individual classes, that track is broken apart with some recovery time in between. Now, if you're taking multiple, that's on you, and you've got to make that choice, and you've got to figure out how you're going to manage your own recovery. You just got to do it. But when you are injured, no one is going to feel let down. No one is going to feel disappointed if you take the time to recover. You've got to take care of yourself. So, no questions. Do it. None of this is permission to be lazy. Okay, to just be like, I don't wanna. None of this is permission to do anything like that. There are other situations that are worth noting. Maybe it's the end of the day and you're tired. Maybe you're sick. Maybe you are hurt. Maybe you got some bumps and bruises and scratches and cuts. Show up. Put in the work. Train. It's going to be better for you. Working through that stuff, coming to understand and learn about yourself and your body and what you're capable of under limitation, under resistance, in adverse conditions, that's really important. And there's no replacement for it. If you're sick and you're contagious, stay home. If you're injured, not hurt, stay home. If you're exhausted because you've been putting on all kinds of hours at work or family, whatever, you're running yourself ragged, stay home. See the common theme here? If it is counterproductive to your well-being, stay home. If it's just a hurdle you got to get past, show up. Learn from it. Work with it. Come to understand who you are and what you're capable of better. But you have to draw that line. And that line is answered in one question. Does this have my well-being in mind? So that's it for today. I hope that you're well. I hope this finds you well. I hope that at most you're just working through your own hurdles, but you're not hurt, you're not injured, you're not any of that stuff, and then you're just getting some training, you're having a great time. Keep at it, keep training, and I'll catch you in the next one.